I hope he can pull off a similar performance with other picks.
Apparently, I'm being told that I failed that guy somehow. I don't know how I did that. Don't know how that works out, but the Silence Band coming out first from Trigger Happy.
Silas from Joey Desu in the last game was also disgusting. He was able to win team fights with those Rumble ults.
Where is that Trigger Happy? Where are all my Trigger Happy fans out there? I want to see a TH win in the chat for them, and a Glacial Rising Phoenix, a GRP win in the chat. I want to see that chat filled with your predictions.
Yasuo banned again for that guy.
That guy's Yasuo is just never gonna get through, even though he's just not. I haven't seen any exceptional performances yet this season, so we'll see how that works out.
Aatrox picked for that guy.
Haven't seen the any exceptional performances on the Yasuo in solo queue either, but that's besides the point. But here we go. Now that I'm done being with the banter between me and that guy in chat, but we do see the Aatrox pick as well as bans coming out on the Cassiopeia and the Rek'Sai for Trigger Happy, and the Thresh, Yasuo, and Set bans on the side of Rising Phoenix. But we do see the Aphelios coming out, which means Epic Fail Guy will be playing that alongside most likely the Karma support on Rising Phoenix.
They should pick bot lane here, I think.
I don't think that they'll pick bot lane here. They might secure a mid lane here, because again, the Rise was not banned.
Xerath coming down.
Xerath and a Varus. Varus has not received those nerfs that he's been set due for just yet, so he's still an extremely powerful pick for the moment.
So it seems like a Trigger Happy is building another poke composition with Xerath and Varus coming down. But I think Xerath has a possibility of going down to the bot lane as a support more than a...
And here comes the Vladimir pick to round out the first set of picks for this, and now we are going to head back into the bans, which means probably like the flex pick of Vladimir can go to mid or top lane, which personally I would probably toss it into the top lane so far.
Yuumi coming down, banned for...
I'm happy.
Yeah, Yuumi it's not fun to play against.
I mean, she's like unkillable, and she makes the person she's attached to very difficult to kill. And then
I feel like
I'm gonna press the R key, and your entire team just can't move.
Executioner becomes useless if it's for Yuumi.
I don't know. It is a lot.
Soraka banned.
So we see some support bans coming out, assuming that the Xerath is not a support, because we don't know that yet.
Yep.
But Trigger Happy has plenty of wave clear so far, so I mean I'm not worried about that, and so does like both teams have adequate wave clear, not really any significant engage. There's a lot of poke on Trigger Happy and a lot of like hard engage, not hard engage, but a good team fight coming in from Rising Phoenix. But let's see how they decide to round out these team comps.
This is basically no ban on mid lane, so
they're assuming that the Xerath is the mid.
Except Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
Warren coming down, so that should be Vlad mid.
That's what my guess would be. Warren top, Vlad mid, with Karma Aphelios bot.
And Trundle the usual counter pick for Ornn.
But that would be Trundle in the jungle more so than it would be Aatrox. So
I mean, still, if just the presence of Trundle against Ornn is always... And Rise taken away
from Skiz. Yeah. But no, I mean not taken away from Skiz. Skiz opted into the Vlad instead of the Rise this time around. But I mean, with Jarvan to finish out the team comp, which is a very interesting way, because now they have really hard engage and a really good front line between the Ornn and the Jarvan. So I'm actually very happy about that.
Yeah, the composition from Glacial Rising Phoenix is really scary.
and then you've got not really engage coming from the side of Trigger Happy. You don't really have any engage. You have your long range Zerath shock orbs, and then you have your long range Varus ults. But if they are able to find the picks in this game, Trigger Happy will be just fine. But like again, without any hard engage, if Trigger Happy does fall behind, it's going to be very difficult for them to play around the really well-rounded team comp that Rising Phoenix has, because they have damage coming in from 3 members of their team, if not 4 members, as well as just a hard, heavy hitting tank in Ornn. And their late game is pretty much guaranteed if they go late game with the Vladimir and the Ornn.
Yeah, they don't really have anything to stop Vladimir during the team fight. So I'm pretty interested to see how they'll fight against Vladimir in the team fight, given that they really don't have point CCs.
Nope, they do not. The only one that they really have is Rise, and Varus and Zerath do have some minimal CC, but as well as I guess maybe the Aatrox if you count his W to pull him back, but I don't really consider Aatrox being like a CC bot, more of like an interrupt bot, I would say.
So what do you think of that guy on Aatrox?
I've seen this man's Aatrox. I think he plays well on the Aatrox. I don't think he plays it in a way that can hard carry his team. If I'm being honest, but he'll prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
We'll see. I mean, he did a really good job last game with that Aatrox.
Didn't win the game though, because of how scared he was playing in a lot of fights. But it's fine.
And
I may or may not like pseudo coach him from time to time, but it's fine.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how Ishin performs with the Rise, given that he took it away from Skiz.
I don't think he took it away because Skiz.
Skiz already picked Vladimir, but basically Skiz said he's most comfortable with Rise.
But then opted not to take the Rise this game for some reason. I mean, which I thought was interesting, but this is fun that we get to see some other picks this game, and I like the diversity. I love players who can play a lot of different champions and play them to the level that they need to.
Yeah, I think composition-wise, Vladimir was way better than Rise in this in their composition, given that again, Trigger Happy doesn't really have anything to stop Vladimir from engaging on their backline.
I think both of them were really good picks. Would have been really good picks, because especially with Phase Rush Rise, it's going to be really difficult, but it also brings just as much, if not more, team fight damage with the Rise to combo off of the Ornn and the Jarvan.
Yep. I'm really interested to see how those poke compositions will work for Trigger Happy on the bot lane. They are super squishy.
Yeah, Trigger Happy is really squishy between like what will be the Rise, the Varus, and the Zerath. We've seen how well the Aatrox can play can be more of a bruiser and really get in there and soak a lot of damage. But ultimately, that plus the Trundle is probably going to be forced into building tank this game as well, so that they have a decent front line for these 3 champions who like to sit in the back and poke.
Yeah, it's gonna be really easy for Jarvan to just abuse their bot lane.
Yeah, we've got what do we have, any crazy looking keystones here? I don't see any. I see a lot of the usual stuff that you see, nothing really crazy with the summoner spells either. So we're seeing the comet, the double comet bot lane coming out from Trigger Happy on the Varus Wrath. So it's like they really want to hit the poke damage and maximize on the poke damage coming from the 2 of them. Which
Karma will be able to negate some of the damage, given that Karma is always a good pick against those poke compositions.
Yeah, but
with the movement speed and shield.
Which is really what they're gonna need to really get in these fights, is probably using her ult shields, her mantra shields, to really push her team in and inspire them and to get into these fights. Because even though they do have the hard CC, just having that extra shield, the extra move speed, like because move speed is a very underrated stat in the game, but it really makes or breaks a lot of fights. So I really want to see how well that the Karma shields are being used by Zylandis here.
I really hated Karma when I was playing last season as an AD carry.
Yeah, Karma was also really strong last season for a long time. So it'll be real fun to see how this works out.
Because she was able to do pokes and...
We saw 5-point starts on... We saw 5-point start. That was a 5-point start. Those are like non-existent in this league. I'm very impressed that I didn't have to pull the first one of the season.
So Scanner bought for both junglers. Or Oracle Lens.
Too wild. Nothing. We do see Skiz stepping over and probably going to try to take this blast gun away, maybe? Yep.
Nice ward coming down on the Wolves.
It's a good one to have. It makes sure that that you can see if the if Sevape is going to opt for the level 2, which I don't really think that he will, because level 2 Trundle needs... It's just not enough. It's not enough to catch.
Yeah, because normally Trundle never goes for the pillar as a level 2 build, or for level 2. Because that, if Trundle cannot take advantage of that pillar level 2, he's going to struggle a lot.
So the current thing with me right now is the lane to watch is the mid lane, because Skiz, who said he's like a really hard Rise main, so he knows what Ishan wants to do. He knows how to play this matchup because he knows it from the Rise side. So he at least knows it from the Rise side. So, and especially with the way that Ishan is just burning through mana at the very start of the game, of the laning phase, it's just I don't know how this is gonna work out too well. Probably gonna force an early tier now that Ishan is actually completely out of mana, even though bot lane seems to be trying to get some poke damage down, get some on Zylandis, able to land another arrow onto Epic Fail Guy, but because of the shield coming off of Severum, was able to actually not take a lot of damage from it. I think the interesting part is the opt into the Relic Shield from Zylandis. So it's going to be a little bit weaker later into the game in terms of being able to do damage and shield, but will definitely be tankier and have a lot more health regen. Shoulder really landing these arcane pulses, the arcanal pulses.
Teleport coming down from Vladimir. That's actually a yeah, Joey doesn't manage to survive in that fight. This is the problem with the Rise early game when he burns all his mana. He wasn't able to push his lane, and Vlad was able to make advantage from that teleport.
Yeah, and I'm gonna chalk that up to Skiz really, because Skiz was able to push the lane up and force out all of the mana from Ishan, making it so he couldn't TP down, which means he had all of the lane prio in the world to just freely TP up there, uncontested, and he's still gonna be able to push this lane in and force Ishan's TP here. Otherwise he would lose a huge double wave.
Kill coming down on bot lane towards Glacial Rising Phoenix.
Maybe we'll see how this ends up going on, but that first, they're really despite the poke lane, I actually wonder how that happened.
I think the play was coming. I think it came with the Graviton, and also
just the chain CC from the Graviton and the.
No, actually, he didn't have a Graviton. It was just
a poor fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor
Good choice.
positioning. Yeah. Ooh, that was nice. Nice Arcane Blade coming down from Aatrox to stop that auto from Ornn. Yeah, and Ishan already burned half of his mana, or more than half.
Although he was able to come back with the tier, he's still burning through mana like crazy.
And blue is not coming up for another minute and a half. So Skiz will be able to push this lane forever.
CS will probably have permanent prio if he keeps this up until Ishan is able to pick up the other mana item he needs, which will be Catalyst most likely. I don't know if he's gonna go for that next, but most likely, I would say. Savape is here in the mid lane walking over that pink ward.
And I think Skiz and Autumn Skies, they'll know that Trundle will need to help Rise at some point. Drax started on the Glacial Rising Phoenix side. Again, this is where Vlad, with the lane priorities, keep putting more pressure towards Dragon. He was able to zone out both Trundle and Rise.
And it's just they weren't able to find the positioning to really come together and really contest that dragon. So the very first dragon, the Infernal Dragon, will be going to Rising Phoenix.
And there was not much poke being done on the trigger happy side.
There's not a lot to take just yet. But like I think the interesting part is that that guy is getting kind of worked right now by Joey Desu, who already has a Bramble Vest, and it looks as though it's gonna be coming in, and there he is, taken down by Joey Desu.
That was a clean solo kill coming down from top lane.
Yep, playing a little bit too aggressive.
Ornn with the lead is not a top lane that you want to play.
No, but Minipod was able to. Oh, and Trolldanube were able to take down duo, I guess you would call it when it's in the bot lane, with Epic Fail Guy and Zylandis able to poke him out hard enough to kill them both.
Yeah, Virus was able to hit level 6 on time.
And even without Trolldanube not hitting 6, Epic Fail's Aphelios was not able to hit 6 though.
So that's going to be another tower plate, and they basically recovered their gold difference. Nice pillar coming down from Savape, but Ishan doesn't have a mana to. Trolldanube got a little bit greedy.
Will most likely be going down here unless Ishan can keep him alive with how little mana he's got.
Oh!
Yep, they will walk away with his life. Nothing too crazy happening right now. That guy heading back up to the top lane, down in XP and gold. Mid lane seems to be heading definitely into Skiz's direction, with although not picking up the assist from that TP, does find himself with a sizable XP and CS lead.
That's a hefty CS lead. Almost 30.
It is 30 because he's not. Because it looks like Ishan's not going to get back to this lane in time.
Ultimate coming down for Aatrox.
With no Black Cleaver, I don't think he should be taking fights like that. unless he's like relying heavily on the healing to keep him
Ooh.
alive there. Savape coming in for something. I don't know what he was really going for. Probably should have waited to push the lane up and then go for the dive here.
I think they'll pop the Herald here. Or
No, looks like they just want that one tower plate. Oh, there it is. That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted Joey Dust to engage that underneath the tower so that they can do this. Now, not seeing that. Even bot lane, a counter gank going out with Autumn Skies hitting up the bot lane, being able to take down Minipod and Troll the Noob in that fight.
I think they should have just popped the Herald here and take the first tower gold.
I think
But it's too late now.
Yeah, because now here's Skiz to defend it, if anything. Actually, now it's still not too late. It would still destroy the tower right now. So I really wonder what he's waiting for. It's about almost about half the duration used, so he might be looking to take plates in another lane.
They will probably try and use it before drag comes up to put pressure on mid lane while they contest dragon, but Vision's already, well, not much, but the bot pressure or bot priority is on Glacial Rising Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity Edge already completed for Aphelios.
Which is interesting, not opting for the Essence Reaver first item for the extra mana and cooldown reduction that a lot of Aphelios players seem to opt for.
Yep, he popped Heralds for the first tower gold here, and that was a nice damage coming down from Xerath and Varus.
And Troll the Noob hitting those ult strikes, hitting those arcane strikes.
And
there.
solo kill came down from the top lane.
Yep, Joey Desu once again grabbing another one. Like I said, I don't think that guy should be fighting him until he finishes the Black Cleaver, because the Bramble Vest is way too much for him right now.
And they're not stopping. Yeah.
Blue buff is going to be taken away, and that is also going to be Dragon. Most likely that will be going down. Troll the Noob coming into the mid lane to see if he can pick off, or at least clear the wave, so that they don't put down enough on it. But they opt here to come steal the blue buff away from Savape's side of the jungle, trading it for the Dragon.
Dragon Soul will be another Mountain Drake.
I was kind of hoping for an Ocean, but to kind of get a repeat situation of something. Despite having died 3 times, that guy is still CSing very well. Still ahead of his lane opponent Joey Desu by about a wave. Stepping right over the Scuttle Crab to head into the mid lane for some reason. Unless there's something in the mid lane that they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and I thought Glacial Rising Phoenix has more bot priority, but probably I was wrong.
Oh, but now that guy is sitting here in the mid lane in a place where he really shouldn't be. But it looks like he's just going to be able to get kills anyway because Aatrox is this broken champion. All that extra healing, and they just walk away with that. And if that guy was a little bit closer, Skiz might have also lost his life there too.
Yeah, if he landed the chains, probably they would have taken out Skiz as well, but that was a very close miss.
Yeah, and like I said, like Aatrox is just one of those champions where if you don't have the items to reduce his healing, have anything to reduce his healing, he becomes a monster early game because you just can't hold him down with damage. Especially if he's able to land things in his sweet spots of his Q, because that's a lot of healing that comes out.
At least so Skiz will take the bot lane turret.
Yep. So the first towers have been taken back, and now that guy has to catch up in XP, just hitting level 10. Although Joey Desu just hit level 11. It seems as though across the board the XPs are about even otherwise, except for Ishan, who is up a level despite having, or up in XP rather, despite having being down 20 CS. All of that extra roaming coming from Skiz finally catching up to him. I am Minipod definitely ahead for the time being.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on top side, and probably they'll try and play around the Herald again.
Phase Rush forcing Ishan away, and also Skiz also Phase Rush, but because Phase Rush, both of them are about even move speed, and Trigger Happy is able to pick up that top tower. It's looking pretty good for them right now, being up a tower and having the pressure, the Rise being allowed to scale, who scales a bit quicker than the Vlad, if you ask me.
Yeah, the fact that they now know that the Hemo Plague is down for Vlad, they can just easily take the Herald. Oh, but something's going on mid side.
That guy getting caught out here a little bit. Doesn't have E available. Ishan is not helping him at all. I think that they actually could have won that fight if Ishan fought that with him. Like, if Ishan helped them with that fight and that guy did not auto-attack Joey Desu, I feel like they definitely could have won that fight. Even despite the 2v3. Minipod in a very awkward spot. Fail guy able to pick up Ishan in the middle of the fight, and with the return kill to Joey Desu, nothing else seems to be going on, and with no mana from Troll the Noob, and was going to be forced to back here, and with the just traded kill.
I think Joey Desu just could have used ultimate first before getting the tower hits, and then make plays, but now Drag is coming up in a minute.
Dragon is up in a minute. Ishan is back on the map right about now. And it's probably going to be what's going to be hotly contested, seeing as how this is the first one that's going to be where the first tier towers are threatening to be low, which means that Trigger Happy might opt just to group for the tower and rotate to the Dragon. But we'll see, because teleport is available from Ishan, which is probably why he's there in the bot lane. And with Dragon now up in another 15 seconds, and Savape just now coming out of the base gates, it's going to be very, very good positioning for Rising Phoenix here.
I think Orin's ult is going to come up in 25 seconds.
Skiz's teleport is available here, with the pillar forcing out the flash from Autumn Skies, and poke damage coming down from Minipod. I think the most interesting part is that Minipod opted for the Umbo Glaive first over any of the other lethality items which give more. Really, really prioritizing that vision control. But now with the TPs coming out and the fights being forced out, Minipod is not in this fight at all.
That was a nice Gravitum ultimate.
Huge Gravitum ultimate, and that guy is here, unable to pick off Xylandis, going down first, and now Skiz is free to do whatever he wants. If he catches up to Savape here, will kill him, but will not. Troll the Noob also being taken down in the middle of this fight somewhere. The biggest problem was the separation of I Am Minipod. Without the Varus ultimate, they do not have the resources to stop the hard engage coming from Rising Phoenix.
The Gravitum and Orin ultimate was just on point.
Yeah, you can really see the coordination coming in from Rising Phoenix. And that spells a huge swing towards Rising Phoenix too, as well. Because it looked a little bit like they wanted to... like they were faltering a bit, like they were falling back now with the difference in towers. But now the gold difference is about even despite the tower difference. But the teams are scaling. The Seraph's Embrace has been finished from Ishan, also not opting into the Rod of Ages.
That should be a Glacial Heart. Or the Frozen Heart.
Probably be a Frozen Heart coming out instead. to kind of negate a lot of the damage that's going to be coming in from Autumn Skies and Epic Fail.
But the only AP damage is coming from the Rise, so not sure.
No, that works out because
Oh
remember,
yeah,
Rise scales off of
they have
mana as
Zereth.
well.
Sorry.
Not only Zereth, but Rise scales off of mana.
Yeah, that's true.
Was that a solo kill? He was able to that guy able to pick up a solo kill on Skiz with despite using Hemoplague and all that, looking very healthy as well. I guess it was the Merc Treads, but yeah, Rise's abilities scale based on his bonus mana. So right now, it's currently getting 10% more damage on his abilities just from having mana, and because like the way Rise works is very similar to the way Vlad works in terms of like scaling. It's like if you have more mana on Rise, you have more spell damage. If you have more spell damage, you have more AP, more mana. It's like if you build AP on Rise, you have more mana. But if you build more mana, you have more AP damage.
Yeah, he could have taken the Morello first, though, at this point, since they don't have any healing reduction.
Although they don't have like healing reduction right now, I don't think that is their biggest threat. I think their current like major threat is the Aphelios that they have to really worry about right now. Because he's the one with the kills, and although the magic damage is primarily coming more so from the from Joey Desu right now in the top lane with the Ornn, who surprisingly does a lot of damage with the Sunfire Cape. Spells being slung back and forth in the top lane, nothing really landing, nothing really out here. Teleport is available from that guy in case they decide to go for the Baron here, or in case they want to make a Baron fight. The Abyssal Mask has been completed by the Ornn, but still with a Bramble Vest and not finished boots, so that is not quite a fast Ornn. The EQ coming out and the ultimate from Autumn Skies comes out. Teleport coming in from Joey Desu, but it seems as though they're just going to disengage it, except for the part where Ishan stepping a little bit too far forward, almost getting picked off, forcing the flash out. The Ornn ultimate coming in doesn't hit anybody but the minions, and it seems as though they're just going to siege the mid tower here.
Skiz is
here on the back line, getting rooted, and doesn't have tower aggro, so they should be able to hold this. But Ishan getting absolutely destroyed by Epic Fail guy, and able to use and abuse the range of the Calibrum to pick off.
That's going to be a
as well.
That's going to be a Baron for the Glacial Rising Phoenix.
Maybe, because that guy is now here in the fight and able to push things a little bit. But with Troll the Noob not really having any mana, it'll be very difficult for that guy to really get in with no flash for a little while longer.
Yes.
For another 20 seconds. He might be able to get in there and alongside Iron Minipod, but Troll the Noob does not have any.
A stacked Crescendum with Calibrum is just interesting interesting mechanics.
Yeah, that was a really good combination for the Aphelios there, who was able to then really attack everybody under the sun there. I think the problem was when Ishan stepped a little bit too far forward and got hit by
Jarvan.
Got hit by the Jarvan, forcing his flash out there and still dying anyway. I think they should have played that a little bit slower. I mean, given that guy some time there to get involved, but it's okay. They're gonna return it with the dragon.
If Joey Desu hit level 14 and upgrades that Infinity Edge on Aphelios. Oh, actually, he's on it now.
Yep. He's got the Molten Edge there,
Molten Edge.
Which turns a 70 damage Infinity Edge into a 110 damage Molten Edge. It is a 40 AD increase. Unless I'm wrong, and Infinity has 80 AD, I forgot. But now they're here sieging this mid tower yet again. With Troll the Noob, who doesn't quite have enough damage to wave clear, not even having a completed item quite yet.
Yeah,
because
I
it's split
think he should have
items.
just finished the Morello, not going for the Haunted guys.
Although the haunted guys is important as well.
Yep. But it's better to complete one item than building multiple of those.
Especially at this point in the game, you are definitely correct. That wasn't. I don't know if that was quite the move, but able to pick the poke damage not quite landing. The skill shots not quite doing what they're supposed to do just yet, because they kind of have to hit.
Yeah, and I
But
was
they
talking
do have
about
better
yeah, I was talking about Poppy last game not being able to, or ID not being able to kill Poppy, but now that Warren looks more scary.
Yeah, Warren already at 3.5k health and just sitting there eating damage for days with tank stats on tank stats. With the Abyss
Not
of
much damage coming down. Big team fight.
Huge team fight did not go.
Ooh!
Did not. That is not what Trigger Happy wanted at all. Like I said, if they do not play these team fights slow, if Trigger Happy is not able to find the picks or like do what they want to do in terms of spacing, they're going to lose these fights simply from the hard engage that Rising Phoenix has here. And now they're definitely going to pick off this inhibitor with the Baron still active. Oh, Baron is not still active. Timed out just as they reach the second tower, but they should still be able to pick off this inhibitor.
That was a nice play coming down from Jarvan in that team fight. Being able to ult all of those 3 remaining members on Trigger Happy.
Yep, and I think what's really interesting to me is the fact that that Epic Fail guy is opting for a double Zeal build rather than an Essence Reaver anywhere slotted into this build. I mean, I could be wrong. It might be the fourth item, but so far he's opted into. Oh, yep, the BF sword is could go either to the Essence Reaver or the GA, but we will see in which direction it goes. Probably not the GA, seeing as how he feels. Probably feeling a little confident, but definitely the Runa and Phantom Dancer will keep him safe with the extra move speed.
And he probably knows that if he survives, they'll win the team fight.
Oh yeah, and with Karma keeping him, with pocketing him, as well as the Jarvan and the Orin to stand in front of him, it's just like their team comp is too well rounded for team fights right now, and I don't think that Trigger Happy is able to find the team fights or to be able to do anything in terms with a team fight. TL teleport coming in from Joey Desu, Zanya is being used from Skiz to keep him alive, and they might look to turn this fight in the choke point. The Varus ulti, Minipod just completely whipping that ultimate, and they're just gonna walk through them yet again.
I don't know if it was a good choice to face Aphelios in jungle with his Infernum.
And it's just Aphelios just walking over their entire team. Like, even from with the Caliban range, that's gonna spell the end of the game. Everybody's down for 30 seconds, and they've got supers coming in. Skiz teleporting a little bit early, but doesn't even seem to matter.
Yeah, that was a bad choice for them to engage in the jungle with Aphelios.
I think it was just a couple of like a couple of like poorly chosen fights, we'll say, is what decided this game, because it turns out like although they Trigger Happy fell behind early, they did a pretty good job coming back early, like into the mid game. In the mid game, they looked really strong coming into the mid game, but ultimately fell short when it came to the team fights, because their comp was just not made to team fight against theirs.
Yep, and again, like we said, there was no contest for Vlad engage, and also I think Ornn being able to pick up solo kills on top lane made him literally unkillable.
Yeah, like Ornn and Jarvan just standing in the front line being completely unkillable just made it so easy for Epic Fail to just stand in the back alongside Xylandis to just shred through team fights. But I seem to have won both of my predictions today.
I finally got one out of 4.
So I'm 2 for 2, or 2 for 4. Sorry.
So I would still lose some money, but at least I recovered a little bit.
I recovered from last time, and it seems we are able to pick up an interview with Epic Fail here.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you? How you feeling after that game?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Tell me. I think my first and foremost question, because it's like more personal, just to me. Why did you not opt into the Essence for your first item? Was it just because you were so far ahead, or like what? Tell me.
I've been kind of experimenting with the Essence first and IE first, and I think I really like the double Zeal item. It just gives me so much more kind of ability to stay alive during fights with the PD shield.
The PD shield, and now that they've buffed the Zeal items to have a 2% extra move speed, it's just a lot of extra move speed for
it
you.
just feels so much better.
I don't know. Do you just again another question that's not really pertaining to the game so much, but do you think that the double Zeal meta is going to come back rather than the Essence Reaver Infinity Edge?
I don't think it's going to be completely one-sided. I think it's still kind of personal preference, and I think it kind of depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, looking into the game now, what was the team's like focus really during the for the beginning of the game, because you guys got a couple of like early kills and then like fell behind a little bit in the mid game, but then really came back and brought it in strong. So like take me through like how you guys were trying to play through this game.
I think coming into the game, we kind of realized that we outscale their team. So as long as we can kind of survive the early to mid game, we're going to eventually outscale them. So I think mainly it was just kind of staying alive, especially bot lane, through their really heavy poke lane.
Mm-hmm.
And then just making plays as a team, grouped as 5.
Allowing your jungler there, allowing Autumn Skies to just walk through and make the picks that you guys are looking for.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Any questions coming from my boy over here?
No, my only question will be: you guys will be facing Smoke Club on week 3, so I just want to know how you feel about that game.
I don't think we're looking too far into the future right now. I think we're kind of taking it one game at a time, and me and Xylandis, we've just got moved up to this team as well, so we have not been playing with this team for a whole long time. So I think just spending more time getting to know each other's playstyles better, and I think we're gonna walk into that match feeling pretty confident.
Okay, but who, like, although that's who you're playing next week or next time or whatever, is there any specific team that you have a target out for that has a target on their back, especially now that Iron Dragons was thoroughly taken down last game?
I don't think so. I don't think we have one team specifically in mind. I think we're just gonna take each game as it is and give our best.
Modest answers. I like this. But unfortunately, we do have to wrap up this interview as the next game is going to get started in a few minutes. Thank you so much for allowing us to interview you today.
Thank you, and thank you for the great game.
Yeah, thank you.
And that is going to wrap up game 2 of today's games. We will be right back with game 3. We have a couple of other things to handle real quick, but that was Trigger Happy against Glacial Rising Phoenix, and we will be right back with a couple. I am your host signing off today, Brown and Autumn, and your co-host,
Live Feather.
There we go. We're getting it. Until next time, or a few minutes from now.